If you ask me what is the single most perplexing problem since I've gotten involved in education, that's it. The data is not only flat, but it's flat while kids are taking more math. We need to face the fact that too many students are frozen in high school. They're not graduating ready for the demands of college, work, and life.
These kids, as they're growing up, they're not competing with the kids sitting next to them in school, even in the kids in the next school over. Not even in New York or in the West Coast, but to kids all over the world. So from their point of view, this is serious because their future is really dependent on their adequate preparation in math and science.
Effective teachers play the single most important role in accelerating student achievement.
Everybody has the capacity to understand and even enjoy mathematics. I think it just has to be presented in the right way, in the right environment, by the right teacher.
And they got the equal marks all lined up. Oh, I like this person right here. Who is it? Oh.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Mr. Murphy basically became a teacher because he was going through a divorce with his wife, and he wanted to still remain close to his kids and remain with custody of his kids. So he decided to teach since they were going to school in Montclair. And at first he was a kindergarten teacher, and Mr. Murphy was coming from Wall Street, so he would go with his business suits on and get chalk all over them.
He thinks the future of our country depends on good mathematicians, and he wants everyone to have the same opportunity to learn and the same skills that you need to function in society. It really pains him when kids haven't learned the fundamentals that he wishes everyone knew. It's not just about his class, it's about he wants everyone to know math. He really cares about math, and he wants people to be at a certain level. He doesn't accept laziness.
The bad news is all wrong problems have to be corrected. Okay? In addition to whatever other homework we have. All right, that's standard operating procedure. Okay, so I may not say it every time, but that's the deal every time.
It's a little aggravating at first, but you learn to fight through it.
He definitely pushes, and I think that's how it's supposed to be.
And I got y equals x squared.
And then what with it, you're rushing it because you're just jumping around.
Before, it was just something that I tended to be good at, and then he challenged me, and I wasn't as good anymore, so I really had to work harder to get on his level.
He doesn't teach to the middle. He sets expectations that are higher than that.
It's not enough to just know it. You have to be able to articulate your ideas.
In Mr. Murphy's class, I really had to put in more time than I'd ever put in before, and more effort than I'd ever put in before, and I probably affected the whole way I functioned in high school. Yeah.
He has a way of making a complicated problem seem very, very simple.
And we get A,
It's an incredible skill to be able to explain these really complicated. He was teaching us trig in 8th grade, and I couldn't even understand that from my trig teacher in junior year, but I can understand it from Mr. Murphy. He knows how to make things accessible and understandable, and he goes slow and he does it over and over again until you get it, and it's just really cool to watch.
In Mr. Murphy's class, we start with combining fractions. He has 3 different methods for fractions. Fraction action, run DMC, and then advanced fraction action.
Run DMC, 9 goes 18 2 times, 2 times 85, negative 10, negative 10, negative 11, negative 21, over 18, please reduce it. We don't have an equal mark.
It's the power of the Murphy math.
It's very like drill sergeant-y.
Advanced fraction action, GC up to 3, other factor 3, other factor 4, negative 20, negative 33.
Our current math teacher right now, he describes it as a pain tolerance. He loves having Murphy kids because they have a very high tolerance for math pain.
All right, the idea is to accelerate you to be ahead of the curriculum in school.
He'll give giant homework assignments.
I would advise you all to do homework.
Class, you don't turn your homework in to make my blood boil.
He's really into having things done a certain way.
Show the interim result, and then you line your equal marks up right underneath it on the next line, and we'll simplify.
Mr. Murphy is really particular with how you write because he wants it all to be neat. If you have sloppy work, you can't understand it, and then you won't be able to do math.
He does a lot of walking in his classroom. He moves a lot when he's teaching. it's entertaining to watch him teach. It's kind of funny because
It's like watching a show.
it's like watching a show. Exactly. He's a very animated teacher.
He would have kids go up to the board and do a proof. That can be really stressful for some kids, but I think that's a really valuable way to teach rather than just showing and you can get kids falling asleep. You get kids up at the board doing the math.
People get really into his in-class competitions.
He'll give us a problem, we'll go up to the board, and whatever person finishes first, it counts as a point for your team.
It's never like I want to get a better grade than this person, but it's always like if this person's learning it, I have to learn it too.
I think they really actually added to the class because it forced you to think on your feet, and it was always a really friendly competition. It all contributes to the atmosphere of a class where you're going to have to work really hard, which is in sharp contrast to many other classes.
Because I think he actually wants them to succeed at what they want to do and push them to the fullest of their potential.
Murphy wants everyone to make it, and he succeeds in that. I mean, a lot of kids drop out, but if they didn't have an option of dropping out, they would all learn a lot and they would all do really well in the end if they made it through.
He doesn't like it when his students get bad grades, not just because, no one wants to fail a kid, but also just because he wants his students to do so well. And so you always want to do your best just so you can make him proud of you.
He realizes that all students can achieve something great, whereas most teachers, especially in middle school, they'll see the smart kids and they'll see the not as smart kids in their minds, or they'll see the not as driven kids, and they'll just not expect as much from them as they expect from the top kids, and Mr. Murphy expects just as much from everyone.
It all has to do with the reasoning as to why, he started teaching and how he progressed with his teaching.
Close is okay for horseshoes and hand grenades.
Being close to getting a problem correctly is good if you're in the Army.
Throw some grenades, you still killed the person.
Or if you're in the geriatric center and you're playing horseshoes and you throw it close.
You'll still get a point, but no, not with math.
In math, you have to get everything correct.
But for Murphy, he wants precision, he wants accuracy.
He made us learn all our definitions word for word. Like if we got one word wrong, it was wrong. And the definition of a line is a lot longer than you'd think. And every single person I know who had Murphy will know that definition until we die. Like we can be on our deathbed, we can have dementia and not know anything else. We will always remember the definition of a line.
An infinite set of contiguous points
on a plane that extends without end
in the opposite direction, such that
the ratio of vertical and horizontal displacement
between any 2 points on the set is constant.
Oh my
God.
The weight times the quantity plus the weight times the quantity equals the weight times the quantity. He drilled into my mind so much and made me remember it so much and recite it so much that I'll never forget it.
I think there's a really big value in having a teacher who's going to work kids really hard and make them do their best work.
A lot of his techniques that he uses, even though they're just math skills, you can also take them into life skills as well.
It's the life lesson that you take out of it, not giving up and sticking through with it. You need this preparation before high school, and you need these students to know that you can do it.
Math is something that a lot of students are quick to kind of just, I don't want to do this anymore. But he taught me to have a love for math. I became a math tutor. That was one of probably the last things that I thought I would ever be.
It's like a confidence sort of that it gives you. Like I am smart enough to do this, instead of walking in somewhere and be like, no, I can't do this. I've never done anything like this before.
After that, you just feel like you can do anything. It just, with all the classes that I've struggled with in high school, because it gets harder. You learn to just power through it, and you learn to just work hard and do your best. Just expect a lot out of yourself, I think, and that's really translated into every class that I've taken in high school. It's just I expect a lot more from myself.
If we did well there, then we can do anything. So
yeah. For real. For real. For real. I can fly. Yeah.
Mr. Murphy, you've been an amazing teacher for so many of us. I hope you know how much you've impacted me and everybody else. Please keep doing what you're doing. We need you.